We got a ton of zombies news lately, as well as the new map announcement, and if you haven't seen my video on that yet, be sure to check it out. But I figured that with all of this, today I talk about my favorite loadouts for Black Ops 6 zombies, but specifically in the AR class of weapons in the game, because there's definitely a lot of ARs, but there are some that are awesome for zombies, and some of these attachments can do a lot, like boost your firing rate, your speed, headshot multiplier, your ability to cause some major damage, and more. But before we do that, be sure to subscribe with notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all the latest uploads. Alright, let's just get right into it. So the first one I want to talk about is the AS Val, which is also one of the best weapons to pack a punch in zombies, because it really becomes a much more powerful weapon in an almost dramatic way when you pack a punch it, but even at its base, it's a good weapon to use in zombies. One thing you want to know if you're new to zombies is that the wall buys that are available in the game, you can actually set a specific loadout tied to each wall that's available. You have to go to the loadout tab in zombies and go to that specific weapon, create the loadout, and then set that for the loadout you want in the game when you buy it off the wall. I just showed you guys here with the GS45 pistol, but you can do this with really any weapon. Not every map is going to have every weapon on the walls, but you can look that up and see really what wall buys there are in a certain map. Alright, for the AS Val, the optic is whatever you find yourself the best with. I personally like the Kepler Microflex because it's not too obstructive, but it helps with accuracy. You want to also add the suppressed CHF barrel because this one is great for the headshot multiplier, and headshots are what we want in zombies for those critical kills. We also need the Ranger foregrip for the underbarrel because that helps with vertical recoil control. In zombies, mobility is important, but so is how much ammo you carry, and so for that reason, extended mag 3 is going to be your best friend. In the map, try to get the speed cola perk and make sure you research it so you can get access to the augments that are going to help you more with this stuff. You're also going to need the commando grip as well because this is helpful for ADS speeds and also sprint to fire speeds, and in zombies, you're going to be running quite a lot, so this is pretty good. Ergonomic grip isn't too bad either, but for zombies, I'm going to say commando is just better in this case, but on each weapon, I do swap sometimes, so you will see when I use either or. You also need the target laser. You can use the Strelok laser as well, but I just happen to prefer the target laser. I use that most of the time, and I find that it's just a bit better for precision. You can also grab a Deadshot Daiquiri perk for headshots, so that plus this sort of all works out in the end, basically. You're also going to need the balanced stock for your stock because it's going to help offset some of the other things here by adding more mobility to your weapon, and also for your movement speed when hip firing because you may need to hip fire at zombies often. Finally, we want to use the rapid fire mod because you want to shoot fast, and this is going to help you out with stronger enemies where you need as much damage per second as possible. So this plus the extended mag 3 is going to help you out because you'll have a bigger bullet supply and the ability to shoot a lot faster, basically. If you're in a fight with something strong as well, rapid fire gobblegum is going to help. You can check my video out from a few days ago about the best gobblegums in this game so far as well for more tips. Alright, the Model L is going to be another great one to use in zombies. I personally like the Model L a lot in multiplayer. I think it's a really strong and reliable AR in this game, and I don't really have too many complaints about it. Just equipping it with good attachments is obviously going to help us out a lot because we need the Model L to perform differently in zombies compared to multiplayer. Optic is up to you. I'm picking the Kepler Microflex since I've grown to liking this optic quite a lot so far. Just a general rule of thumb, you'll always want to equip a suppressor for zombies on all the guns in this video because it's going to help drop more scrap from zombies, and you're going to need a lot of scrap because of weapon mods and rarity upgrades, so yeah, a suppressor for the muzzle is necessary here. We also want to use the CHF barrel and Ranger foregrip as well as the extended mag 2. You're going to want to use the commando grip and the balanced stock. I personally found the commando grip to be better for stability, and the balanced stock is just all around better for stability as well, while still having the benefits of being fast for ADS, and they also aid in offsetting some detractions we get from mobility. We also need rapid fire again for the mods. In general, CHF barrel and rapid fire is going to be a great combo for zombies, so expect to see it often in this video. The Model L in general is a good gun, but for zombies, the idea is that we want to increase how much damage we cause and the rate at which we're doing it, so yeah, the Model L is a good weapon, but you need to focus the attachments less on necessarily mobility and more on damage. This is especially going to help you with the camo grind for Nebula. Alright, for the Krig C, the Krig C in general is a very powerful AR that I think is really good in multiplayer. A lot of people consider it one of the better ones in this game, but it's also really great in zombies just as much as it is in multiplayer. Of course, though, our objectives with this loadout are going to be different because in multiplayer, we often tailor for a certain playstyle in these loadouts that I make, but for zombies, we just want the most critical kills and the most points that we can get at a time. So for the Krig C, we have the Kepler Microflex again with the suppressor, CHF barrel, and Ranger foregrip. This one has an extended magazine, so we're definitely going to take advantage of that and put extended mag 3 on this because we need the most amount of bullets possible, so we aren't going to be buying ammo all the time. We'll also need the ergonomic grip, which I felt was just a tad better when I was testing this gun out compared to the commando grip. Honestly, I recommend you try both out in the firing range and see if they have some sort of advantage over the other depending on how you play. I use the balanced stock. I know some people say that the infiltrator stock is good, which I guess it is after I tried it out, but somehow the balanced stock just felt a bit better by a small margin, so the same goes for the stock in this case. Try them both and pick the one that fits your movement and your playstyle the best. Then I used rapid fire because we want to increase how fast we're getting getting these kills, so I feel like rapid fire works the best here. I think that for this loadout, the key is just trying to fight a bit with the recoil because we are using rapid fire, which does hurt some aspects of the power of this weapon, but ultimately in tandem with some of the other attachments, rapid fire is really good on the Krig C. I wouldn't call this my absolute favorite on the list, at least compared to the Model L, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but the XM4 as well. However, the Krig C does have a good level of value to it as a weapon to use in zombies. The XM4 is probably the safest assault rifle in Black Ops 6 because I feel like it's the one almost everyone has tried and is relatively good at using. Also, the XM4 is a good weapon in general, and it has a lot of reliability to it compared to some of the other ARs in Black Ops 6. Either way though, this XM4 has the Kepler Microflex on it, along with the suppressor for scrap of course. We also have the CHF barrel and the Ranger foregrip as well. This is the iDead Mastercraft, and the original blueprint came with the vertical foregrip, but to be honest, I prefer the Ranger foregrip more, even if it looks a bit funny here. Extended Mag 3 of course, so we can maximize our amount of bullets. We've also got the balance stock and the target laser. Honestly, with the lasers, you can realistically pick whatever one you want, but the target laser is just one that I'm used to and have used a lot in Black Ops 6, so I didn't really feel like switching from it to another one. We've also got rapid fire for the fire mods of course. I find that this one has a really good magazine capacity, so you don't need to reload as much as some of the other guns with their fully extended magazines. The AMES-85 is a really great gun in Black Ops 6, and it's probably my favorite in the AR class alongside of course the XM4 and Model L. I really like the way the AMES-85 feels, and it's a pretty satisfying gun to use to be honest. There's a lot of good aspects to it, I'll put it at that. But in any case, for the AMES-85, I'm of course using the Kepler Microflex, and you already know it, the suppressor CHF barrel combination that really is a golden one to use. I've also got the Ranger foregrip with extended Mag 2. Unfortunately, the AMES-85 doesn't have more than extended Mag 2, so you may need to reload more often compared to something like the Krig C or the XM4, but I think it's fine. The power of the gun sort of makes up for the magazine capacity. We've also got the Commando grip for the rear grip. You can use the ergonomic grip instead if you want. I just opted for Commando on this one because I like the way it played a little more. There's also the balance stock, and then of course rapid fire for the fire mods. Overall, the AMES-85 does have a slight issue in that its bullets aren't as strong as some of the other weapons on this list. You can replace rapid fire with some other stuff like the FMJ and whatnot, but for me, I think the value that you get from the rapid fire exceeds the other fire mods because of the speed that you're going to be getting. For the other things like the lethals, the tacticals, these sorts of things, you can pick whatever you want. I personally will recommend that you use something like the Stim for the tactical and that you use something like the Semtex for the lethal. I found that after playing through the maps a bit that the Stim and Semtex combo just works out for the better in this game. You can always craft these at the tables in the maps, but personally I like to start with these the most. I've heard some people talk about the shock charge with the Molotov. It depends honestly on what you want out of these sorts of things, but for me I always go with the Stim and Semtex. The field upgrade can also be whatever you want as well, but I always recommend something like Aether Shroud. This makes you go invisible for a brief period of time so you can run away from a difficult situation. I think it's a good one that can help out with some of those Easter egg steps that exist. And the Gobblegums, you can pick whatever you want. If you want recommendations, like I said earlier, I did talk about the best Gobblegums in a previous video, but you can switch the Gobblegum pack mid-game, so don't worry if you change your mind on what Gobblegums you brought in with you. The melee weapon can be anything you want. I always pick the knife because it's my favorite, but you can pick honestly whatever you want. And I'll wrap things up there. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications set to all so you never miss out on another upload. Share this video and comment below which of these loadouts is your favorite or which you're planning on trying, and that's all for today, folks.
You're a fucking bullet sponge, but I got your ass.